Welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Leo tells E.J. that Jude is his son at the Kiriakis' manse. John and Marlena joined Maggie at her request. Constantine and I are engaged, Maggie blazoned. Stylish wishes, Marlena said compactly. Maggie assured John and Marlena that the marriage was in name only. I wanted my circle of family and musketeers to know the verity, Maggie said. Which is? Marlena asked. Maggie explained why she had proposed and that Constantine had inked the prenup agreement without expostulation. I feel like I owe him because he was so kind to me after I lost Victor. And also, Maggie said. Because of what I did to his son? John fitted. Maggie argued that John had acted on Victor's orders, and the Victor she had known would have wanted her to help Constantine. They had had their differences in the history, but ultimately, they came musketeers, Maggie said. That is because it was more accessible than being at war, John murmured. John reminded Maggie that Constantine had held a grudge for times. But he forgave you, Maggie combated. Maggie suggested that they move on from the history. I suppose I can be generous while still guarding my interests, and the interests of the Kiriakis family, Maggie said. Marlena told Maggie that she supported Maggie's opinions. Constantine walked by and saluted Marlena and John. I do hope you'll both attend the marriage, Constantine said. Maggie chimed in that there was no date set yet, but it would be before Constantine's visa expired. But first there are some particulars of interest that must be taken care of, Constantine said as he glanced over at the wall safe. When Marlena and Maggie had to leave for meetings, Constantine asked John to stay for a drink. John looked at Marlena and signed. Why not? John said. John told Marlena he'd see her at home. Reluctantly, Marlena left with Maggie. Maggie is the real deal, is she not? Constantine said. You are a lucky man to have a woman like that in your corner. She really cares about you, John agreed. Constantine said he wasn't sure. However, also you want to take care of them in all ways, Constantine said, if you really watch for someone. John raised an eyebrow, and he asked what Constantine meant. Constantine mentioned the prenup and that he'd a plan to deal with it. Now that we're both alone, I suppose now is as good a time as any to put that plan into stir, Constantine said. Confused, John asked what Constantine meant. Constantine held up the red card, and John closed his eyes and bucket. When the pawn opened his eyes, Constantine asked him to break into the safe and steal the connubial agreement. While the pawn got to work on the safe, Constantine went into the foyer to check on a noise he heard. Maggie had returned to pick up a sobriety chip she had demanded for the meeting. Constantine eagerly offered to recoup the chip from the study for her. I can find it myself, Maggie said. No, you can't, Constantine said as he seized Maggie's arm. Maggie frowned at Constantine. I cannot go into my own study? Maggie asked. Constantine said he'd revealed that he hadn't yet got it up. Who cares, Maggie said as she marched once Constantine. When Maggie entered the study, she noted that John was gone. Constantine prevaricated and said John had stepped outdoors to call Marlena. Maggie seized the chip off the office, and she walked out. Constantine called out to the pawn, and he appeared with the prenup in his hand. In the forecourt, Nicole helped Eric calm down Jude. As Eric and Nicole's hands brushed together, a glooming Sloane stomped over. Actually, you know what, I was just leaving, Nicole said. Nicole snappily exited the forecourt. You want to tell me what that was about? Because I would just love to know, Sloane said. Eric asked if they could talk about it on the way home. Sloane reluctantly jounced yes. After Eric put away Jude into bed at home, he joined Sloane in the living room to talk. So, do you swear you had no idea that you and Nicole were both going to be working at the Spectator? Sloane asked. None. I know what it looked like, but Nicole was just trying to be friendly, Eric stressed. Sloane scarfed, and she mocked Eric's coziness with Nicole. Eric reminded Sloane that she had walked out on him after their fight. I was not indeed sure when or if you were coming back or when we were going to talk, Eric argued. You did not suppose I was coming back? Jude is my son. What do you suppose I am going to do, abandon him? Sloane yelled. Eric said no. I was just allowing you were fed up with me, Eric explained. Sloane told Eric that she had been hurt when Eric had indicted her of wasting plutocrat on a friend. I owe you in reason. I am sorry, Eric said. Sloane sniffled back gashes, and she asked Eric why he was sorry. For not being more trusting. Further forgiving. Sloane, I just want to be a better hubby for you, Eric said. With a nod, Sloane told Eric that he could start by believing her explanation and provocations for why she had helped Leo. Because, Eric, it's really hurtful, you know, to have your hubby, suppose you are a fabricator, Sloane said. Eric told Sloane that he didn't suppose she was a fabricator. But paying for Leo's hostel room just to be nice? I am not buying it, Eric said. Sloane acted indignant, and she complained about her headache. There you go again. Eric yelled in frustration. What am I doing? Sloane asked. Eric argued that Sloane was trying to avoid the discussion because she had commodity to hide. Eric allowed. About when he'd eavesdropped Leo talking about blackmail, and he asked Sloane if Leo had been blackmailing her. After a moment, Sloane admitted that Leo had been blackmailing her. With what? Eric asked. Sloane explained that Leo had uncovered humiliating effects from her history. I do not want to talk about it. It's just going to be more painful for me, Sloane contended. Sloane explained that she had wanted to save her practice and her marriage. I would no way leave you over commodity like that, Eric said. Sloane asked Eric to hold her, and he pulled her close. Sloane cried crocodile gashes on Eric's shoulder as he apologized for having let Leo into their home. There is no way I am going to let him get down with this. I promise you, Eric said. Sloane prayed Eric not to do anything. Leo did not mean to hurt me, that is the thing. You know, he has had a terrible nonage, Sloane argued. I am gonna not kill him, Eric yelled. Sloane's mouth fell open, and she told Eric to let it go. Eric refused, and he walked out. Sloane called Leo. Holly was studying in her room at the Demera Manse when she took a break to text Tate that she missed him. Tate texted back, miss you more. With a smile, Holly returned to her calculation schoolwork, but she plotted to concentrate. Nicole poked her head in to check on Holly. There is so important to catch up on, Holly said. Holly mentioned that she had guzzled an energy drink, but it had made her shaky. When is the last time you spoke to your therapist? Nicole asked. Holly noted that her therapist was on holiday. And she was feeling anxious. I detest being like this, Holly complained. Nicole hugged her son, and she called Marlena. When Marlena arrived, she said, your mama tells me that you are feeling overwhelmed. Holly jounced yes. Holly explained that the further she tried to catch up on her practice, the lower she was suitable to complete. I do not know what to do, Holly said. Marlena told Holly to take a deep breath when she felt overwhelmed. It just sort of relaxes the nervous system. It tells your body that you are safe, Marlena said. Marlena encouraged Holly to take a deep breath, and she did. I guess I feel a little more stupefied out now, Holly said. Marlena advised Holly to take breaks for walks or to hear to music. As Holly jounced yes, Marlena told Holly to go to sleep beforehand so that she could study when she was more rested. I am going to shoot a note to your preceptors, just to remind them of what you've been through. I am sure they'll understand. But only if that's okay with you, Marlena said. Holly agreed, and she thanked Marlena for her help. Do not worry about catching up with everything. Just go at your own pace, Marlena advised. Holly hugged Nicole goodnight, and she went upstairs. I cannot thank you enough, Marlena. You said exactly what she demanded to hear, Nicole noted. Marlena said she was happy to help. As Marlena started to leave, Nicole asked if Marlena could help her, as well.